Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great myself because today we have yet another PlayStation fanboy to take a look at. Now we've covered some clickbaity PlayStation fanboys on the channel in the past, but I think this video today that we're looking at takes clickbait to a whole new level. And I'm gonna admit, I took the bait on this video, I will hold that L. But as you could tell from the like to dislike ratio that I put in the thumbnail, people were not too happy with this video. I mean, it takes a certain level of clickbait and dishonesty to get a 36% dislike ratio. And trust me, we're gonna go over some comments afterwards, because this dude is still responding to comments 2 years later, and he's a little salty. So yeah, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video.
So, how's it going everyone? My name's Click from Clickbait, and today we are going to be talking about the Xbox Series X. We're going to do a little review on it. I mean, it's a gaming console, you know, a review can only go so far. And I will also tell you guys why I'm selling it, or returning it, or giving it away. I'm not sure yet.
And just for the record, so everybody knows, I did not put that clown face on him. He did that himself, which again is why I have to give him some props for self-awareness. But just because he's self-aware doesn't mean I'm not gonna cover him. Because what's very interesting about this video is the title is why I'm returning my Series X. But most of this video is actually him listing out all the good things about the console. And then when he does the little twist at the end, you feel like you've wasted your time watching it, which is why it has as many dislikes as it does. I don't understand why people have to be so dishonest about this stuff. Look, I get it. It's free ad revenue. This dude has less than 100k subs, but he got like 700k views on this video. I know he was just making this to get the bag, but couldn't you do that by making actual good content that people want to watch instead of just baiting people for 10 minutes and then getting them to hate you by the end? Imagine if I made a whole video on why somebody was a PlayStation fanboy, then I listed off all the reasons why they weren't a PlayStation fanboy, and then at the end of the video I said, oh, they're a PlayStation fanboy because they own a PlayStation and they don't own an Xbox. Like, you guys would probably be pissed at me, and rightfully so, because I would have just wasted your time. But money talks louder, I guess.
The Xbox Series X is a beast of a console, and I'm not returning it for the reason that you might think. So stop typing. Why are you typing right now? Now, one of the downsides that I've been reading online about the Xbox Series X, and in my opinion, I believe what they're saying, is that it doesn't really feel like an upgrade in terms of how it looks like and how it feels. For example, the user interface is exactly like the Xbox One that you've had for 7 years or so. How long has it been? The controller is also identical. There's just a new button. Again, 6-7 years.
I said this in the last video I made where the dude was complaining about the same things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Most people love the Xbox One controller design. Even a lot of PlayStation users said they wish that PlayStation had a similar controller to that. Every time somebody brings this up, it makes me think that they want Microsoft to change things just for the sake of change. Now, sometimes that can be good. Like Elden Ring obviously slapped the open world formula onto Dark Souls, even though it had a pretty solid gameplay loop nailed down already. But as we've seen recently, change for the sake of change comes with a lot of downsides. Modern Warfare 2 is a great example of this. They changed a bunch of stuff that nobody had a problem with for no reason other than they wanted to be able to market it differently. I agree, good changes should be made, but that's the thing, it has to be good changes. It has to be warranted. You shouldn't change something just because you want to change it. Change something because it needs to be improved, not because it's already really good and can't really get much better.
And it kind of sucks. I mean, I use this controller personally, the Elite controller, so much better. I've been using this thing for, I think 6 months now, and I freaking love it. This is my go-to right here. So as I was saying, it kind of sucks because when you buy something new, you want to experience it new, everything, you know, not just one aspect of it, but the entire aspect of it. The Xbox Series X just feels like an Xbox One X with an upgraded CPU and an upgraded SSD.
I find it very ironic that he complains about, oh, you know, the controller's the same, the UI's the same, it feels the same, but just a slight upgrade. And then points out that he's been using his Elite controller for over 6 months now, and that's been out since what, like 2019? No, the Series 2 came out in 2019, and the Series 1 came out in what, like 2016 or 17 or something, whatever. The point is, he complains that, oh, the controller's the same, the UI's the same, I want it to be new. CPU, and then talks about how he still uses this controller that's a few years old now. Anyone else picking up on the irony? And also, maybe you want everything to be new every time you buy something. But he said right there, oh, every time you buy something new, you want every aspect of it to be new. That's not entirely true. Just because you want everything to be new doesn't mean other people want everything to be new. And as for, oh, it's just a 1X with an upgraded CPU and an SSD, no, it's more than that. But yes, it is basically an upgrade at the end of the day. That's Microsoft's whole marketing strategy with these new consoles. Microsoft is starting to treat new consoles more like new GPUs rather than new eras of gaming where every aspect is redefined completely.
I mean, it also looks different, so I mean, you know, but that's it for sure. So Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5. This is a very easy answer, and it's way easier than you guys might believe. It all depends what kind of gamer you are. Right now, Xbox is focusing not really on next gen, not even that, but the Xbox is also backwards compatible with a lot of the original Xbox games, most of all 360 games, and every single Xbox One game, not counting those weird VR games. Some of those might not be compatible, but what I'm basically saying is that the Xbox Series X, you want to get if you want to get the next gen experience as well as every other previous generation of Xbox games.
I mean, yeah, that sounds reasonable to me, but my question is, what does this have to do with you wanting to return or sell your Xbox? You're describing all the reasons why somebody would want to get one in a video where you're trying to explain why you're getting rid of it. I mean, we've seen people make arguments before where, oh, this is bad because it's actually good, but good lord, I have never seen it like this. But I like how he says, oh, Xbox is focusing the previous generations more and not really so much on next gen. What PS5 only games have come out even 2 years later? Because you got to keep in mind, this video was made back when the consoles initially came out. So what games did the PS5 have then, and what does it have now? The one I always immediately think of is Demon's Souls, and then Ratchet and Clank. I know that's not it, but I genuinely can't think of any others, and I'm looking right now. The problem is, anytime you type in, oh, what games are PS5 only, it gives you games that are also on PS4. I guess Ghostwire Tokyo as well, but that's on PC as well. So yeah, Sony hasn't exactly been delivering those true next-gen games as much as people really say they are. Don't get me wrong, their games are still great and they look and run beautifully. But when people say, oh, these next-gen only games, they're talking games that are only on PS5 and Series X. And there's barely any of those even over 2 years into the life cycle of these consoles. But let's keep going because he's going to bring up PlayStation in a second.
But if you don't really play a lot of older games and you really just want to focus on the next generation of gaming, you want to focus on that true harness of power that developers are going to put into games soon, then you might want to go for the PS5.
Well, one could make the argument that you would want to buy the Xbox instead because you'll get the next-gen focus when developers put out those games, but you'll also have access to the last gen and all the generations before for the same price as a PS5. Ultimately, it does come down to whatever you want, but personally, I don't think options are a bad thing at all. If I see two photo cameras and one has just a regular photo mode, but the other has a photo mode and a black and white mode, and they're both the same price, I'm probably going to go with the one with extra options just because, you know, more for the same price.
And you can see this trend about Xbox really looking at gamers really throughout the entire console. For example, on the Xbox Series X, you can store Xbox Series X and Xbox games on an external drive. You can't play Xbox Series X from an external drive, but you can store them on there. So whenever you want to play them, you can put this game onto the internal drive and then a couple games from the internal drive to the extended drive to make room for that new game that you are transferring over. You can do that. Meanwhile, on the PlayStation, and this blows my mind why Sony is stupid about this, but on the PlayStation, you can only store PS4 titles on the external drive. You cannot store PS5 titles on the external drive. So as more PS5 games come out, that 667 gigabyte SSD is going to fill up mega quick.
Okay, apologies. I know that was a much longer clip. That was like a solid minute or something. But I genuinely had no idea this was an actual thing, and I looked it up just to fact check it. And yeah, that is true. For some reason, you can store games on the external drives for these new consoles, but you cannot play them. You have to move them to the internal drive first. At least the next gen games. If it's a last gen game, then you can play them on the external drive. But genuine question, why is this? If anybody smarter than me down in the comments knows, please explain it to me, because I know I had an Xbox One for several years and I had an external drive with it. I had plenty of Xbox One games installed on that external drive and I could play them from the drive itself. But putting aside how idiotic that is, again, is this another reason why you're returning your Xbox? Because you have more options with what you can put on the external drives? I'm actually so confused.
The Xbox Series X is also quieter than the PS5, at least in my case, in this room, same temperature as I always been playing my games. The Xbox is just a little bit more quieter. I assume it has to do with the very large fan that's in the Xbox and the incredible airflow in the Xbox. Now, I'm not saying the PlayStation 5 is loud. It's certainly not loud, but I can hear it slightly more than the Xbox. But I know that matters to a lot of you guys for some reason, so I just thought I'd include this in this video. So, like it or hate it, that's the truth in my use case.
Alright, so what have we learned so far throughout this video? The Xbox has better backwards compatibility, more flexibility with its external SSDs, it's quieter, and it has an awesome Elite controller. Why do you want to return this thing? You've just spent the last few minutes describing several things that the Xbox does better than the PS5, and yet you're gonna sell your Xbox and keep your PS5. I'm probably gonna title this video like the most confusing Xbox review on the internet or something like that. This dude is starting to make calculus look easy.
The SSD on the Xbox Series X has been proven to be a little slower than the PlayStation 5, but yet it performs a little better than the PlayStation 5. At least the way that Microsoft have kind of optimized it to work with this console. The quick resume feature is just mind-blowing. The ability to switch from a game that you're playing to a game that your friend is playing before you can even take a sip of your soda is insane. It really does showcase the immense power of the SSD and that velocity architecture. The SSD is so quick that it takes less than 5 seconds to turn your console on from rest mode. And yes, PlayStation fanboys, before you type in the comments, I know PlayStation can do it too, but this is an Xbox video.
Yes, this is an Xbox review, but you're supposed to be explaining why you're returning it or selling it. Instead, you're explaining all the reasons why you shouldn't. Every reason you have given so far has been in favor of the Xbox and a reason why you should get one over a PlayStation in a review where you're trying to tell people why you're getting rid of it. And dude, you do not have the right to call out PlayStation fanboys. And I might as well explain at this point in the video, you guys might be confused as to why I'm calling him a PlayStation fanboy, even though he seems to be giving Xbox a lot of praise. Well, one, he's giving them praise, but using that as reasons why he's getting rid of it, so that's one thing. But also, he has a video on his channel where he literally calls himself a PlayStation fanboy. It's called like PlayStation fanboy buys an Xbox One X or something like that. So this dude has openly admitted he is a PlayStation fanboy. So don't feel like I'm deceiving you or anything.
Oh, and guess what? Microsoft, thank you for giving us the ability to buy extended storage, that little expansion card slot, right now. I can go and buy it right now if I wanted to. I don't need no ugly external drive wires hanging out of my Xbox. I can go and buy a nice little card, very expensive. By the way, I told you guys it was gonna be over 200 bucks. I made a video like 6 months ago saying, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like 250. And you guys were like, nah, it's gonna be like 100 bucks. I'm like, okay, we'll see. And I was right, kind of. It's 220. But the fact is, we can go out and buy it right now if we wanted to. Meanwhile, with the PlayStation, Sony, where are the external drives, my friend?
Right there, this dude just exhibited some behavior that we're gonna see later in this video when we look at some comments, where he just cannot let stuff go. He remembers this stuff from over half a year ago, just because he really wants to prove people wrong. It's kind of petty in all honesty. But once again, this is a video where you are trying to explain why you are returning your Xbox, and you are only listing positive things. My dude, I genuinely hope you're not upset or surprised that this video did so poorly. This is is the epitome of clickbait, and it's only gonna get worse, trust me.
Where are the internal drives as well? The next generation of console gaming is here. It's kind of hard to do a review on a console that has no exclusive games right now. I mean, there's really no next generation exclusive game that I can play on the Series X and be like, whoa. So it's a very powerful console. Like, I'm pretty sure it's more powerful than developers know what to do with. I'm 100% certain. I know for a fact games in 3 years from now will look miles better than games that we're coming out like today. I think the new Medium game is coming out in a few weeks for the Xbox Series X. So that is really the first true exclusive. I mean, it'll be on PC as well. But it's the first true exclusive on the Xbox Series X.
And as we all know, we can't possibly show off the power of a console unless the game is only on that console, right? We couldn't possibly upgrade last gen games to have better graphics and higher frame rates. Okay, but sarcasm aside, I hate this argument so much. Especially since, what did the PS5 launch with? Demon's Souls, and that was it, I'm pretty sure. I understand it launched with more games, but Demon's Souls was the only true next gen game. And I like how he kind of scoffs at the fact that it's gonna be on PC as well, like that's a bad thing. Especially when PlayStation, mainly very recently, has started porting a ton of their games to PC. What is it? Haven't like 7 PlayStation exclusives come to PC this year or something like that?
It doesn't really matter which one you choose out of these two, okay? It's really stupid fighting on which piece of plastic plays games better. Is the Xbox slightly more powerful? Yes. Are you really going to notice it in the games? No. You're not. Let's just all be honest. Without a comparison, without watching YouTube videos with a comparison side by side, how many people do it, you would not have noticed a difference. It's not possible. Both of these are insane consoles. Just get the one you like, dude. It's not rocket science. You're not going to university. So why am I not keeping it?
I mean, yeah, I agree. Absolutely get the one that you like. It really isn't rocket science, and he's very based for saying that. But here we go, guys. This is it, the grand reveal. Let's find out why he's not keeping his Xbox, despite all the reasons he just brought up about how great it is. Are you guys ready? And as you're listening to why he's getting rid of it, just imagine how cheated and confused the people must have been who were watching this video by themselves. Because if you were just a regular viewer just looking up Xbox reviews and stuff, and you were watching this, I guarantee you would feel like you just had all your time wasted. But let's go ahead and hear it. Why is he returning it?
Well, I might give it to my nephew. Christmas is right around the corner, and I might just give it to my nephew. I know for a fact he's gonna put like thousands of hours into the console, so hey, good for him. But why am I not keeping it personally? Well, because it's very simple. I have a PC, and PCs play like 99.9% of the same games that Xboxes do. In fact, I'm not sure, but I think every single Xbox exclusive is also going to be on PC, even like right now, even like this generation, they're on PC as well. So it's kind of pointless for me to keep this console and not use it because I use my PC more. I might as well just give it to someone who's going to really put it through its paces, like very heavily.
Do you guys feel like your time was wasted? I mean, I hope not, because that would mean I did something wrong with my video. But seriously, imagine doing this. And I don't want to see anybody in the comments saying, oh, well, the video title was why he returned the Xbox. He never said why in the title. Dude, he never gave a TLDR at the beginning explaining why. And I guarantee almost anybody who was going into that video, as soon as they heard him say that this was a review, they probably thought that he was going to talk about a bunch of downsides. But no, all he did was talk about the good things about it, and then waited until nearly the end of the video to just say, oh, well, it's because I have a PC and I can just play my games in a better form on that. No wonder this video got so many dislikes. If he had given a too long didn't read at the very beginning of the video, just saying, okay, guys, the too long didn't read is I'm returning the Xbox because I already have a PC, then it wouldn't be so bad. But even then, why did this need to be shared with people? If you were returning it because you had legit legitimate hardware problems or you had legit criticisms against it that you wanted to bring up, then sure, absolutely, go for it. But to make an entire video explaining you're not using something because you have something better, you wasted everybody's time and you know it. My man's really just sacrificed part of his reputation and ethics just for some ad revenue. It is wild what people will do for money. And in case you couldn't tell, yeah, I'm a little upset about this because I don't like when YouTubers clickbait their audiences because they're just wasting your time for their monetary gain. It's just really scummy, honestly, but let's go ahead and finish out this video real quick and then we'll get into those comments afterwards because oh boy.
So that's pretty much it. I told you guys. It's very, you click the video. Don't type clickbait in the comments. You know it's a clickbait video. You don't have to tell me that. I said it in the first second of the video. But it's a true clickbait.
Again, props for self-awareness, but the way I look at it is honestly being self-aware in this situation can almost make it worse because in the very beginning of the video and just now you have admitted that you knew you were clickbaiting this whole time and you admitted to wasting people's time, meaning that this wasn't even like an accidental thing that you did where you accidentally made some stupid points. You intentionally sat down, thought this out, said, oh yeah, I'm gonna put an extremely clickbaity video out there and waste a bunch of people's time just so I can get some more money. I don't care how self-aware this guy is. He still deserves to be called out. If I get up one morning and walk downstairs and introduce myself to my family as, hi, I'm take sister's money because I took some of my sister's money, that doesn't make it okay. And I knew what I was doing the entire time. I guess my point is self-awareness does not free you from criticism. But yeah, with that final clip out of the way, that's basically the end of that video. He goes on a little bit longer, but honestly, I don't want to watch anymore. It's like 30 seconds. You're not missing anything. And him making fun of the people who were calling him out just really left a bad taste in my mouth. But now let's go over this comment that was left on his video a little over a month ago. And remember, this video is over 2 years old, and he still decided to respond to this comment. This man cannot let things go, but let's go ahead and read this interaction. Worst Sony pony ever. Cry harder, geek. Pathetic little boy. That's right, keep your mouth shut and know your place, little boy. Lamau, you're arguing about video game consoles and calling me a pathetic little boy. Followed by 9 laughing emojis. Ew, I'm not saying that last part. No. You're truly the pathetic neckbeard looking mofo. Nice. Silence. Ya mom. Is that all you got, soy boy? That's all I need. I had her last night. We played PS5. What the hell was that exchange? But goddamn, I cannot believe this man is so salty about receiving backlash over his openly admitted clickbait video that he's arguing with people in the comments over 2 years later. Alright guys, on that note, I think I'm gonna end the video. This was a lot of fun to make. You know, I did get a little mad towards the end just because of the openly admitting to clickbaiting and stuff. But either way, this was a lot of fun. Those comments, dude, jeez. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.